Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Millennial Smark, and I'm bringing you the slop, the whole slop, and nothing but the slop. Now, I know some of you may take this video as me being anti. Oh my god, he's going after the poor baby Zelina Vega. Please don't go after my senpai. Oh god, no. Oh god, not Zelina Vega. Anyone but Zelina Vega. No. It's nothing like that. Hear the whole video, alright? I feel like I'm making a point here, a more broader point. It's not picking on Zelina Vega. Shit happens. Shit happens. Coming out of the gate saying it. But some of you, if you're not aware, last night on Saturday night's main event, Zelina Vega ended up botching a 619 in her match against Chelsea Green. And in the process of trying to recover from the move, she ended up kicking her dead in the fucking face. Broke the girl's nose, right? And like I said, it's not ballet, right? Even though I did go on X and I ended up saying, you know, stupid bitch kicked her in the nose. It's fun. It's X. I don't care. I can say what I want to say on X versus actually saying what I can say on YouTube, okay? So completely different circumstances. Don't take what I say to the heart, okay? I'm just being funny. But she did kick her in the nose, right? Fucked her whole shit up. And she is enemy number one, numero uno, right now in the IWC, right? Everybody hates Zelina Vega. And honestly, it goes a little bit further back. I remember seeing people saying for the longest, especially during the, what was it, maybe like a month ago during the releases, or maybe earlier this month, everybody was like, oh my god, how the hell does Zelina Vega make the cuts? Like, she sucks. Zelina Vega's horrible. All these comments you were hearing in the IWC about poor baby Zelina Vega. And you know what? It's all hilarious in the end of the day, right? But you do have to take it into consideration, right? Because I know most people are going to probably be like, well, Devontae, what about people like Seth Rollins, who literally went out of his way to break John Cena's nose, which he did not go out of his way. Accidents happen. Zelina Vega, an accident happened. I don't think she went out of her way, okay? Pretty sure. Just call me crazy. She didn't go out of her way to intentionally injure Chelsea Green. But the fact of the matter is, Seth Rollins, when he broke John Cena's nose, was a prominent fixture within the roster, right? He was in the main event scene. Say what you will, at least in comparison to a Zelina Vega, he was more over at that time than a Zelina Vega. None of these can actually be arguments, right? I think we can come to a common sense conclusion. We can relate to each other as far as common sense is considered, and it's probably not appropriate to compare Seth Rollins to Zelina Vega as far as why one is being looked upon differently than the, but then again, it's the IWC. It doesn't matter. As long as the fundamentals are exactly the same, all the nuance gets thrown out the window, right? Context means nothing to the IWC. Context means nothing to the internet overall, right? You have a bias, you have a personal preference, you're just going to go ahead with the narrative no matter what. But nevertheless, though, with Zelina Vega, hey, people hate her. Shit happens. My thing, though, and this is just a more broader perspective, this is what I really want to talk about. Why keep going down this path when you know the end result is not going to be to your liking, right? Zelina Vega, in my opinion, is a beautiful young woman, right? Maybe not my cup of tea body-wise, quite frankly, face-wise also, but just objectively, she's a beautiful woman, right? And I think there are multiple ways to use a Zelina Vega. Look, when she was a manager for Andrade back in NXT, she was killing it. I thought that was a perfect role for Zelina Vega. And it's not as if she wasn't a manager previously also. Wasn't she a manager when she was in, whatchamacallit also? The fuck is the name of that group? The fucking Puerto Rican group, Mexican group back in TNA. The fuck is the name? What the fuck are their names? Got LAX. There we go. Like, she was a manager in that group also, right? My point being is, you can play to people's strengths without constantly having to make them a traditional wrestler. It's just not their cup of tea. They're just not good at it. And it goes beyond, because people are going to probably be like, well, Devontae, watch more of her matches. No, you don't understand. You guys focus strictly on the in-ring. I'm not talking strictly about the in-ring stuff. I've seen maybe, I want to say, a little under 5 of Zelina Vega's entrances within the last maybe month or two. Every single entrance, it's crickets. It's crickets. You can't deny that, right? You can't. She gets literally no, unless she's like in fucking Puerto Rico or something, she gets no reaction whatsoever. Maybe it can have something to do with her theme song being one of the worst songs I ever heard in my fucking life. Maybe it could be something along the lines of that she just doesn't have it. Maybe it could be something along the lines of you look at her, she kind of looks like a cosplay of Sasha Banks or some shit. I don't know, whatever the case happens to be, but she just does not have it. Tied to the fact that she's not a good in-ring competitor. If for nothing else, can we come to a conclusion that she's not a good in-ring competitor in comparison to the rest of her colleagues? Is that fair to say? Right? I don't think you're going to put, whether you like her, whether you hate her, say whatever you want about her, you're not going to put Zelina Vega in the same category as an Io Sky, right? You're not going to put her in the same category, for an example, as a Rhea Ripley. You're not going to put her in the same category, for an example, as a Stephanie Vakir or a Julia or some shit like that. You're just not going to do something like that because you actually have a fucking brain. But like I said, you don't have to focus strictly on that. This is what I mean. And this is why, you bring up these kind of conversations about the sexual appeal stuff, and, you immediately get raked over the coals as being a misogynist, as being a sexist, when it's like, you don't even understand. Yeah, okay, obviously, if you look at me and I want to be selfish, yeah, of course I want to see the women in a sexual light, because, sorry, I'm a straight guy. I know, right? I know that's a fucking sin to be in 2025, but yeah, I'm a straight guy and I like fucking naked women. What the hell do you want me to say? But just, looking at this also, put aside my personal feelings, like, this is how you get more eyeballs on the product. Sexy women on television is not a bad thing. Why is it, and I feel like I have this conversation like once every month or something, but I still don't understand this whole perspective of you can go on Instagram and you can do whatever you want. You can go on any other platform and you can do whatever you want. But the minute you take that same attitude, that same behavior, and you do it on WWE television in the sacred ring, that automatically just discredits you as a performer. Like, it shouldn't. Here's my thing. Again, it's not as, unless you just started watching wrestling yesterday, history lesson. Trish Stratus, she started out as a valet. Trish Stratus, she started out no different than a Sunny, no different than a Sable. Like, she was exactly like that. A more hardcore version of a Miss Elizabeth, right? That's who she was as an exhibitionist on WWE program, because that's what she was, a fucking exhibitionist. When you're going out there and you're stripping butt naked and you're getting half naked and you're showing your titties and you're getting surgery and all that, you're an exhibitionist for all intents and purposes, in my opinion, right? But she used that in order to get her name out there. She used that in order to be more of a prominent fixture on the roster. And when she kept focusing on that and doing more of that and focusing on her story and focusing on her character, like the stuff that she was doing with Vince McMahon, building up into WrestleMania 17, guess what? When it came time for her to wrestle, mind you, people forget, as far as a full-time wrestler, Trish didn't become a full-time wrestler legitimately on a consistent basis till, when she won the Women's Championship for the first time? Like a Survivor Series in 01? Mind you, she debuted on the roster, right before WrestleMania 16 and 2000? So we're talking February, March of 2000? She didn't become a consistent performer in the ring for nearly 2 years. She spent all that time playing up her character, which was pretty much a femme fatale. That's what she was. And when the time came for her to wrestle, mind you, at this point in time, she's now a babyface. Now people give a shit. Now people actually want to see her wrestle. It's not a bad thing, folks. Sexual appeal is not a bad thing. It's not. The women, the feminists don't even believe that, because again, you support it on other platforms. What's with all this slut-shaming bullshit that you guys talk about all the time? Women empowerment and the sexual revolution and all this nonsense. But I guess when it's done, for the male gaze, whatever fucking bullshit nonsense buzzword of the day that they like to use, or bullshit nonsense terms they like to use, or phrases, I guess now automatically but then what the fuck is the point of sexualizing yourself if for not being something to use to manipulate the mind of the man? Right? That's all it is in the end of the day, right? And again, you do it on different platforms. So why is it bad when you do it on WWE? Because you know what you get in the end of the day? You get people who for all intents and purposes, they need to work on their craft a little bit more. Again, Zelina Vega isn't an isolated person. There are plenty of people who could probably benefit for focusing more on their sexual, I don't know, promiscuities, if you want to say, as far as a character is considered. And again, it's not as Zelina Vega's another perfect example. I don't follow her Twitch, right? I don't care for her Twitch because Pornhub exists. But then again, it's Florida, so maybe not. X videos exist. Spank Bank exists, okay? Your imagination, whatever. My point being is, you see her on her fucking, what do you, the Twitch shit, right? Is she not sexualizing herself for the most part on her Twitch? I could be wrong. Anyone who follows her channel, like, someone tell me. Like, is she not, I don't know, sitting there playing video games with her titties hanging out and whatever? Maybe not all the time, but, you know, she does it from time to time because she's a woman who's fucking hot, so that's gonna be the case. So, like, miss me with this nonsense, this constant virtue-signaling nonsense of, well, I mean, the women, if you just let them go out there and do the same thing that the men do, yeah, if they're over and people give a shit, I don't want to see the men go out there and wrestle if they're not fucking over, because I need the crowd participation. That's everything. The crowd participation, that feeds into the character feeds into the wrestling, and the wrestling, that right there, that brings everything together, and it gives me a package deal, and that's what I want to see. I want to see the package deal. I don't want to just see one excerpt of one specific thing. Hell, I don't even want to see two. I want to see the full package. Now, how good are you? To what extent in regards to that full package? Hey, we'll see how that goes and how that develops. But initially, what I need you to have a character. I need you to connect to the audience so I can feel like I can connect with you. There has to be a reason for me to want to fucking care. And then I want to see you wrestle. You know, if I want to see two masked midgets go out there and throw fucking super kicks all fucking day, I'll go watch some. You know, let me not. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna get banned off of YouTube. I don't want to get banned off of YouTube again. But no, just why? And mind you, like I said, you go up and down this list. I'm looking at the women's roster list right now, right? Let's do this. I'm gonna look at the women's roster list, and I'm gonna make some calculated. No, I'm not calculated. But I'm gonna look at this list. I'm gonna say who should probably benefit from probably going more into the sexual appeal versus who should probably be a wrestler versus maybe they can even do both. I look at Asuka for an example. She could probably do both. I look at Bayley for an example. I would like for her to do both, but primarily wrestle, I guess, right? Becky Lynch. For most of you guys, maybe you probably say she can do both character-wise. Probably resonates more with the wrestling. Ivy now, release her. Io Sky, she could probably do both. She probably could do both, right? Kairi Sane, same thing. Kiana James, I just seen a post from Kiana James celebrating her birthday, literally damn near half naked. She can just strictly do that. Liv Morgan, she literally, that's her whole character, is also a femme fatale. She's like a Trish Stratus 2025. Lara Valkyria probably plays more to the wrestling aspects, right? Maxine Dupree, strictly sexual appeal. Nothing wrong with that. Natalia, personal, I have my own personal beliefs, probably just wrestle. Raquel Rodriguez, probably just wrestle. Rhea Ripley, probably can do both. Roxanne Perez, probably can do both. Scarlett, strictly sexual appeal. Zoe Stark, release her. Bro, seriously, like none of this stuff, bro. Look, SmackDown roster. Alba Fire, probably can do both. Again, not my cup of tea, but I see. Alexa Bliss, probably both. B-Fab, not my cup of tea, but probably can do the sexual thing, right? Bianca Belair, probably strictly wrestle, although personal preference says otherwise. Candice LeRae, probably strictly wrestle, right? Charlotte Flair, strictly wrestle. Chelsea Green, Chelsea Green's a perfect example of a person who can literally fucking do everything, man. She fucking gets it. I don't like her politics, but I fucking understand her as a character. She fucking gets it. I love Chelsea Green from a wrestling perspective. Julia probably can do both, strictly wrestle, right? Jade Cargill probably can do both, strictly wrestle. Michin, strictly wrestle. Naomi probably can do both. Nia Jax, strictly wrestle. Nikki Cross, strictly wrestle. Piper Niven, strictly wrestle. Tiffany Stratton probably can do both. Zelina Vega, I'm sorry. What do you want me to say? Sexual appeal. Sexual appeal. She's in the same category as a B-Fab. I'm sorry. Is this a terrible thing to say? Is this a terrible thing to focus on? Is this a terrible thing to look at it and say to yourself, well, Golly gee, Devontae, if you just be a little bit more respectful, how more respectful can I be to say that I want her to keep her job? How more respectful can I be to suggest, okay, maybe actually focus on what's going to get you over, the same thing that you use in order to get yourself over on Twitch? Why can't that be focused on television? Then you have the numbskulls who come out here and they start with the, well, Devontae, they're PG. You expect them to do porn on television? No, I don't expect that to be the case necessarily, but you can still, they do it all the time still on television. You can still play up to the sexual appeal. Now, would I like to see bra and panty matches and stuff back? Of course I will. Does it mean that they can't just, strictly deal with other advertisers and whatnot, especially because they curse all the fucking time and they do other deplorable things nowadays? Of course, you can make up as many excuses as you want, but in reality, all you're just saying is, well, I'm just gonna cuck for WWE and shitty balls. I mean, if there's anybody underneath the WWE umbrella and you say anything negatively about that, it's like you sound as bad as the fucking AEW fans. You really do sound just as bad as they do, man. Like, really. They're just more annoying when it comes to the inclusive bullshit with the politics. You're annoying when it comes to just making excuses for WWE overall, bro. Like, you can do softcore stuff without outright explicitly. They do it. They do it already with the fucking Twitch shit and on their fucking Instagram pages. Literally, I love how today, it's wild how today sex and everything surrounding sex is at its all-time high from a market standpoint, right? We are way a billion times more sexual today in pop culture than in any point in time in the history of pop culture. Not even fucking remotely close, right? It's not even fucking remotely close. Yet, you have people in the entertainment side, more in particular wrestling, who are clutching their fucking pearls, when in reality, back then, they were actually risque when they were doing the bra and panty stuff and the evening gown matches and all that other shit. They were way more risque back then because that stuff wasn't as accepted mainstream-wise as it is today. But now that it's way more open, the market is way more open, now you want to clutch your pearls about. Again, man, like, yeah, because the alternative is to have Zelina Vega go out there and then kick fucking Chelsea Green in the nose and break it, and and totally have her go out there and get no pop, get no reaction, get literally nothing out of this. You tell me then. I'll end it on this note. For all the straight men out there, you tell me, huh? What would you have rather seen? What would you have rather seen? And don't give me that cop-out bullshit like I would have not rather seen them at all, period. No, fuck you. They have to be on the show because Triple H put them on the show. So now that they're on the show, what would you have rather seen? Chelsea Green and Zelina Vega shaking their asses? Or seeing Chelsea Green and Zelina Vega, I don't know, fall down on their asses? More in particular, Zelina Vega. What makes more sense to you? A fucking product dedicated and focused on strictly men, but apparently everything in regards to what men want, you don't want to fucking do. It's so fucking retarded, and it's so stupid, and it's so backwards. But leave it up to professional wrestling, where everything is retarded, stupid, and fucking backwards. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. I would like to get some of your opinions. Like I said, I feel like I touch on this topic in some way every single fucking month, at least once a month. And I know I'm going to get some of the dumb fucking reactions from some of the numbskulls out there, again, who are just going to cuck for WWE. But hopefully we can get a reasonable conversation about this. Probably not. We'll see. Double or nothing later on tonight. Be there or be square. As always, my name is Devontae, and I'll be catching you fine folks later. Sorry. Had to decompress myself there for a minute. Had to get some fresh air, because I know as soon as I post this video, the smell of pussy is gonna linger in the air when all these cucks come out of the fucking woodwork. I'm just bracing myself right now, okay? A deuces and a pea. Ice.